Hello there everyone and welcome back. I was not really happy with how my poor slaughter fleet kind of got mangled there, although the latency and the unusual type of fleets like the Dauntlesses makes that a little bit difficult for me since I am forfeiting probably Chaos's greatest strength, which is their excessive range to be able to shoot at a distance. But it has been working incredibly well when dealing with a lot of what we normally see. At least it seems like it, because I've shown how well this can mangle orcs, because dealing with their weaker armor on the side and rear basically makes up for the fact that only half of my ships are generally shooting most of the time, since they're technically doubling, if not tripling, their damage potential there. And it's a lot more fun as opposed to just kiting all day and just waiting for him to die. That's not really all that exciting, but hopefully I can come back into the slaughter fleet in time. But for now, let's have ourselves a little bit of fun, or at least play with something that I am familiar with. Although it has been a while since I kind of been trying to avoid playing with Aeldari fleet, especially when I was doing my live streaming like a couple weeks back, since if there's any way to kind of enrage our opponents, especially if they're newer players, it's probably with the Aeldari. Since they are very mobile, they are very agile, they're one of the only fleets that can consistently just straight up dodge macro cannons at a distance, which makes those kind of fights even more infuriating, especially if you're on the losing end of that type of battle. But we'll see if we can have ourselves some fun without embarrassing people. But even then, the Asuryani, I'm still at doubt on how it's properly pronounced, but at the very least, they do not rely on stealth tactics, so if anyone wants a straight up battle, it's going to be the Asuryani. Asuryani? I'm going to have to double check and listen to the voiceovers on this fleet to really know firsthand. Either way, let's hope for a good time. Alright, the Quantum Guy. I recognize this name from somewhere before, and dang it, I was planning on reinstalling Battlefleet Gothic, wasn't I? In case that helped alleviate this visibility problem. Although, for some reason with the last game that I tried playing with, and a practice game with AI, I didn't really notice it up to this point. So I'm wondering if it has something to do with the fact that I'm not the host here. I wasn't really paying attention to be honest, but that could be a factor, or why that's happening. Maybe. Either way, what's the plan here? Well, really, I'm worried that this may... I recognize the name. Oh. Well, they're getting into the flavor, but for which universe, though? So I can't comply if I don't have shields. I think we found a loophole to their strategy. Who knows? The last thing we need is to deal with Borg. And hell, if all those videos that love to compare Warhammer 40k to all the other universes, the Borg are probably just screwed. Well, this is gonna get amusing either way. Alright, so we're dealing with Mechanicus, so the main rule of thumb is to never use my Wraithbone shift if they're in firing range. And this looks pretty much like maybe a battleship and 3 cruisers. It seems likely, which means they would have a couple of frigates around to kind of reveal my poor light cruiser.
You have seized a strategic area.
I hate to break it to you, but Eldari logic means they can't stop moving. Otherwise my solar sails will never get powered. So I love to think that if the ships can never move because then they just be like a goldfish or something, or was it? What's the analogy? Is it a crocodile? Is it a shark that if they are upside down or stop moving, they just sink? I'm probably completely wrong, but let's continue with this ignorance. And let's keep it.
You have seized a strategic area.
I would love to grab these
Has
points.
seized a strategic area.
So let's be careful the Novacans though. If I'm watching the ships that they're likely to shoot at like a hawk, then I should fairly easily be able to dodge the Nova cannons. Unless there's another bug there where it just refuses to show the notification for me. And that should capture it just fine.
The winds rise.
Although, I would like to grab this 4.2.
You have seized a strategic area.
Alright, so that's 4 Nova Cannon shots burnt there. And actually, I just like to board this thing, since I have time to kill. You know, we already knew that there was a battleship in sight, but can we kill these frigates? Actually, I want to hold fire so I could kill this other frigate, because this one's without a doubt going to lose its crew. Can I at least have it in a way where I could kill this other cruiser, though? Nope, doesn't look like it. It's running too far away. So if we blind them, that helps a ton, and yeah. I would have loved to have grabbed that 4th objective as I was planning, because then it forces their maneuvers. It forces them to at least take the objective seriously. And that gives me more breathing room. Oh, it's even double battleship. I'm a little bit surprised they're able to afford frigates, but then again, with my fleet, I technically did have a light cruiser to complement it. Kill it. Kill it now. Now, I am not revealed yet, so that doesn't really mean a lot yet. And I think to try and somehow keep this entertaining, I'm just not going to use my Stasis Bomb and Maelstrom. Because otherwise, I could just keep him still and do like 800 points of damage maybe with his Stasis Bomb combo alone. Although, I don't know if I like staying out in the open like this, because as soon as I'm revealed, I'm going to take some damage. And they do have the Spear Crystal lenses or Disruption Overcharge.
The winds rise. For the ancestors.
Alright, so that's 2 gone. There's 2 more. And since they're not moving, that gives me some free room. So maybe that's, yeah, 1 more salvo we have to deal with. Didn't quite, ooh, convenient engine damage right there. I'll take that. And otherwise, we're just going to play our objective game. And, well, I have an opportunity to do a lot of damage to this ship, so I want to take advantage of that. Since now that I'm finally going to get revealed. Although this is going to very easily be fatal if they... Yeah, if they boost forward, so I might have to be little choice but to Stasis Bomb. Because otherwise that's going to get me killed right now. I just won't use the Maelstrom in that case. Because that's crippled. I don't need to repair just yet. And actually, Stasis Bomber, yeah, that's going to be cleared. Bomber's going to hit it, and the others might be slowed down a tiny bit. Although my light cruise is invisible and I don't like it one bit. Alright, so that thing's just gonna mutiny. And I don't even know if this thing fired its pulsars or not, because I don't recall ever seeing the pulsars fire. But we're still in good shape. It's just a question if they rally or not. Because apparently I have yet to grab this point. Oh. I want to grab this point, ideally. Actually, I want to commit to grabbing this point. Oh. This could be fatal. I'm worried about a Nova Cannon at this range. And Yeah, since they have no frigates, this thing is just free to just keep harassing them. So let's just settle for a little bit of free morale damage killing this one ship.
Raise sail. For the ancestors.
I can't get complacent, because again, they do have Disruption Overcharge.
Where the winds
So I do want to try and
The enemy
disengage
has
still,
seized a strategic area.
before this damage becomes overwhelming.
energize thrusters. I stand ready.
Because the best way to deal with the Disruption Overcharge
I walk the mariner's path.
well, I'm losing my train of thought now, but that's kind of the best way to deal with Disruption Overcharge is to just cycle out my ships. It's kind of the same manner as what I'd like to do with my Imperial Navy and Chaos ships, or really any ships that have shields. Just rotate them to protect each other, but it's a little more difficult with Aeldari since normally I'm just flying directly away from them and not sideways. Although, I still got objective lead.
I walk the
I might as well grab this point here, although everything's now invisible due to this bug.
relocating.
So I don't know if this is helping my fleet or helping them more, because now I can't really see my heading the best. And I still have 2 Nova cans, which conveniently they're burning right here.
You have accumulated
Those could be
50%
Eye of the
of
Omni
strategic
signs, but
points.
either way, that gives me like a minute of free time. It's part of the reason why I'm a little reluctant to play this fleet, because if that concede was any indication, I was just frustrating my opponent to death, and that's not what I want to do. But at the same time, with their own stasis bomb and rad tempest, I could die immediately as soon as I get caught by an Eye of the Omniscion, or even take some hits from the Novacans. It is a tightrope. Once they start getting close, well, even then, they don't have the close range weaponry to be all that scary. But they do have ramming spurs. If they are somehow able to get that close, and keep in mind they do have the means to regenerate their combustion gauge quite well, I can die really damn quickly. So I do need to play very conservatively, and play the objective game for a lot of the reason why I like to try and do that with most of the high mobility fleets. It encourages them to spread out, or at least split their priorities. Oh boy, we're playing against the Quantum guy again. I'm a little bit worried about ruining his day, so how do we make this more interesting? How can we make this more tense? Well, really being more aggressive is kind of the easy answer, but at the same time, if they're using the Disruption Overcharge, I don't really want to get in a prolonged fight. I kind of need to do hit and run, like swift attacks and then disengage, ideally. No, it's happening again. Alright. We'll see if he gets the hint this time, but the best way for me to get aggressive really is to not be in front of him. That's really all it comes down to. I'm fine taking a little bit of macro weaponry and the broadside fire, but if I'm in front of them, then they can just run me down incredibly well, since I'm kind of closing that gap for them, as opposed to playing at a safe distance. So we'll have to plan our engagement that way. And the light cruiser without a doubt could be pretty good at that, but we know there were at least a couple of frigates around. So we'll see if we can hunt them down as well as a bonus. Same formation as before. 2 battleships, 2 cruisers, one of which apparently is a dictator.
For the craft world.
And we'll see
As
if we can deal with those frigates, because their low crew complement basically made short work with the boarding assaults that I did with the cruisers last time.
I walk the mariner's path.
And this, I can get a pretty direct pathway to both their flanks, since my 2 cruisers will naturally want to go over here.
Ancestors.
It's just a question, can I position myself in a way to threaten to grab this point and also support my cruisers, or even my Phoenix if they decide to go after one of these subsections?
Mariner's path.
You have seized a strategic area.
That's what it really
You
comes
have
down
seized
to.
a strategic area.
Because I'm going to be running away a lot if they do relentlessly pursue me. And the light cruiser's not going to do a whole lot on its own, I'm afraid to say. Although I do honestly want to know where the frigates are. They are around somewhere without a doubt. And there's a celestial bot. Oh, well, that gives away where at least one of them is.
How may I serve? The winds rise
I don't think there's any way I could take advantage of that yet, though.
for the ancestors.
And let's keep an eye on the Novacans. Because they can also come out any time, especially now that they're hitting. Which doesn't really say a whole lot, really.
Our foe is here.
So still same upgrades and all that.
World,
The frigates stopped grabbing the point. And I just got revealed.
stand ready.
So that's important to note that there's a frigate nearby.
We understand.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
That cannot be done.
You have seized a strategic area.
We understand.
Yeah, and the assault run is also expired, so that's a little unfortunate. Do I repair or not? Well, now that the generator's gone, I kind of am forced to. Good thing I caught that, although I did fire my torpedoes in a panic there.
Relocating.
And you know this is going to go badly.
I walk the mariner's path. Underway
A part of the reason why
for the ancestors.
I need to pay attention to this.
The winds rise.
Now, frigates have been demolished slightly. Now I gotta provide support. Especially with one of the frigates gone.
Craft world. Where the
And I am
winds
hitting, so I'm not
rise.
really giving them free shots at the moment. It's just a question of where this
I
frigate's
stand
at.
ready.
The enemy is seizing one of your strategic areas.
Oh yeah, and I lost my deck from those torpedoes too, so that has a bit of a factor there too, doesn't it?
How may I serve?
Oh, I'm revealed there because of my proximity. I just didn't realize that my torpedoes or my pulsars didn't go off yet.
Raise sail. I stand ready. Mariners pirouette.
Sadly, I don't get to fire my pulsars the best, but
I walk the mariners.
and never mind the fact I kind of also
That cannot be
used my torpedoes on a stasis bomb, so that was a bit of a waste.
mariners path. How may I serve? The winds
Light damage there.
for the ancestors.
That. All right, we're clear here. That was all their Novacans for now, but
Energize thrusters.
let's at least try and grab these points. Use the gas cloud for cover, and just steal this point.
Underway.
Get me in this gas cloud, because I'm going to need it right now with them having no frigates. And also, you should go somewhere else. I took a lot more damage than probably needed, but
Understand.
again, gas cloud will help a ton in alleviating this damage.
Area.
For the craft world. Relocating.
And let's see, all the ships, they repaired the damage and all that.
For the ancestors.
Although they are also just deathballing, so I don't really want to engage this normally anyway.
How may I serve?
It's made apparent by the amount of damage I kind of did to myself.
As foretold.
Even if it may not be all that much impressive damage.
For the Asuryani.
There, they even said right now, the Asuryani. Am I going to be able to remember that? Probably not. But this is an opportunity.
How may I serve?
This is an opportunity to dodge the Novacans. I think that burns out.
Winds rise.
Let's just stasis bomb them. Get behind them and try and punish this.
Raise sail.
The enemy is seizing one of your strategic areas.
I stand ready.
Yeah, now
The
I'm.
enemy
Oh,
has seized a
I really want a Maelstrom. Let's just try. Let's challenge this a bit. We'll get ourselves in a stasis bomb real quick. Ah, dang. And that thankfully did not destroy the engines, at least, so there's that. But now it did. I probably really should have just fired the Maelstrom, but if I can make these torpedoes stick, that'll make up for it. Now, Hallfield's kind of burnt entirely. And you're about to die an abysmal death. So is there a way we can make this work still? Probably not. Because you're dead. I can't repair the fire assaults alone. I can at least grab this point. Actually, you could survive, probably not. Unless the repairs come back up quickly. Now it's 30 seconds. It probably is not going to survive. The only ship that can really safely engage them is basically my Phoenix, since it has the extended range. But we did a lot of damage. Just I don't know what kind of damage we did to the battleship just yet.
You have accumulated 50% of strategic points.
And now again, are they conceding defeat here? Even though it's still could be anybody's game right now.
Relocating. How may I serve?
I don't know how I feel right now, honestly. But
I walk the mariner's
let's
path.
try and get our vision, at least with the light cruiser. Because if I don't start getting kills, that doesn't help me very much.
For the ancestors. How may I serve?
So we dodged these easily enough. And I think all they have left is Eye of the Omni sign, which could still be a pretty big deal. Ooh, you had engines permanently gone too. That's convenient for me.
For the craft world.
Although you probably do want to use your Eye of the Omni sign. It can be pretty effective. Especially as kind of like a bait if nothing else. Although, since I have unlimited charges of my Maelstrom, or no, Wraithbone shift, it doesn't help all that much.
I walk the mariner's path.
Not as much as I like, but we're getting an opportunity to do some free damage on this one cruiser.
Holding advance.
So we'll finally be able to do some permanent damage to this fleet.
Relocating. I stand ready.
Alright, boost on out. Kill this ship. It should just burn to death.
How may I serve?
I'm hoping at least. And the light cruiser should, well, light cruiser should move because it's about to get murdered horribly. And these are Eye of the Omni Science, which could still really get me in a bad position just because of the slow effect and them trying to ram me.
Ready.
But that's one ship down. Yeah, they conceded. I apologize to my opponent. You see how much damage I was taking trying to stay into that fight. Torpedoing my own Phoenix notwithstanding. That disruption overcharge is devastating if in a prolonged fight. And I do not want to stay in there. But yet, even though I'm playing the Aeldari properly, I still feel like an awful person. Okay, more Adeptus Mechanicus, surprisingly. So I don't recognize Nigel Simpson either, if I'm going to be honest, so I think the same rule still applies. Give him a little bit of a leeway, and probably just try not to murder him too quickly, especially with my Maelstrom. Since I do honestly rely on the Maelstrom a whole lot for doing ridiculous burst damage. But of course, the catch with Maelstrom is I kind of need to destroy their engines, or at the very least keep them from being able to move, and a stasis bomb is kind of perfect for that. Actually, let me put my fleet this way, Phoenix over on the right, so it's a little bit faster to grab the point. But the rules are still the same, if I can remember it. Do not Wraithbone shift at all, and ideally, keep my eyes on the fleet that are likely to bomb, since that almost cost me dearly from my not paying attention to my Phoenix before there. And it's a bit of a different fleet too.
We understand.
Well, again, it could be an example of a less experienced opponent too, because these could very well be frigates. Okay, I was really scared that would not have worked. That I would not have grabbed that point is what I mean. So yeah, this is what I hate most on having to play with my main fleets. Never mind the Aeldari, because if I try and play properly, if I'm not handicapping myself, this might be a bit of a very one-sided battle. So we're gonna have to try and make this interesting. So we're not gonna use our Maelstrom yet again. Stasis Bomb is still probably required if my opponent is incredibly relentless in pursuing me, since they do have the means, especially when they can see me at all points of the game, basically. The only one who's safe is my light cruiser. So we're gonna try. Oop. This is why you pay attention to that. Although it's only a single Nova can, and with there only being 2 frigates, it's safe to assume it's what, 5 cruisers maybe? I did. Yeah, 5 cruisers I think is a safe assumption here. At least they're being more conservative, so we'll see if I need to go all out or not. Although if I can reveal their skills, that helps a bit. Although the fact that frigates are not revealed, or the fact I can see their frigates, helps a ton with at least assessing my opponent. And it helps justify a little bit just using this frigate to just sit there and harass them from behind. Good thing I caught that. So that's 2 more, maybe 3.
As foretold, they are already dead.
Yeah, just shoot them a bit. Their shields are going to recharge quite a bit. That's kind of the funniest thing about this maneuver. It's going to do almost absolutely nothing with the 20-second recharge. But they do have dictators, so they could actually reveal the light cruiser pretty well.
How may I serve? We understand. I stand ready.
And I think the celestial body or the wreckage is kind of blocked.
For the craft world.
Alright, that makes that easy to dodge. Now I'm waiting for the boosters. You're just not moving at all. I don't know if you're actually shooting or not. I'm a little paranoid right now. We're getting some lucky critical hits though, but that's a lot of the benefit due to my stance, really. Getting double the critical hit chance, essentially. That's an unfortunate waste of my shot. Now I'm waiting for the boost. Because the one... Oh. Alright, so now we use our booster, finally, our Wraithbone shift. And they kind of know what they're doing to a limited extent. Now, can I get in the gas cloud to kind of conceal myself? Yeah, and they're hitting me hard there too.
The winds rise.
No, I don't get my concealment. So they're still free to shoot me some, which is going to be annoying. Especially since they just killed my... I was going to say, they just killed my generator, maybe? And your engines are temporarily damaged. At least they don't have the disruption overcharge, but again, that kind of goes to what I said earlier. Yeah, basic upgrades and all that stuff.
underway.
Just keep going. Repair the point defense, although that may be my downfall if I'm not careful. And the light cruiser's doing work right now, since it's being completely ignored by their fighters and their frigates, which could spot it. But I am eventually taking damage, and this is nothing but empty space. So I'm not going to be able to conceal myself anytime soon.
Raise sail.
Oh, and I should try and grab that point too, which, really, this light cruiser could do for me.
How may I serve? I stand ready. The winds rise.
Oh, I could dodge those easily enough. The one main strength of Aeldari, although now they're doing the firewall. Or the Eye of the Omni sign, is it? Aw, I would have been impressed if they stole my tactic. Now I'm a little bit let down.
Walk the mariner's path. Great strike has them crippled. Where the winds guide.
Okay, you're mutinied, your deck's gone. So that's one ship out of the fight. And I do have gas clouds, but this is still anybody's game. Let's not get complacent. Especially if I'm going to withhold using my Maelstrom for this.
25% to strategic points.
Another mutiny. Go and conceal yourself, although that was the wrong stance, sadly. Ooh, nice torpedo hit there. I'm happy with that. And yes, please destroy the solar sails on the one that has multiple solar sails. I would like that. Makes my life easier. Actually, let's try and kill this frigate. Speaking of engines. Alright, destroy that, please. That was a panic. Dang it, that was a panic rape bone or false maneuver, but at least only one of them gets hit. And it's the one that's kind of protected by the one in back, so it's not a big loss yet. Now hide our ships, protect them, maybe see about dealing with that our frigate. And just run and hide. That's most of their Nova cannons burnt. And we still have yet to see an Eye of the Omni sign, which could have been really good at pinning me down for a brief period. Because even though I'm dodging almost all their Nova cannons, they're still doing a lot of damage to my ships.
The enemy has accumulated 25%.
This Phoenix is taking notable damage. It's just, imagine how much better this would be for him with the Disruption Overcharge even. Those torpedoes sadly won't do much, but at least they'll burn some of the point defense for the bombers. Well, there's Eye of the Omni signs now, but that's only because they used up all their regular Nova cannons, really. Now, let's start crippling. We have 3-point advantage. We're slowly crippling them. Oh god. Again, probably Eye of the Omni sign, but let's never underestimate it, especially since it's the battleship that's firing it. I would love to kill this frigate, especially with this convenient turn. That wasn't even planned, but it works out. Well. And that can still pin me down for potential ramming damage, because again, the Phoenix has taken a lot of hits and it has more health than the rest of my fleet. And now I'm gonna have to take this a little more seriously with him running me down. Alright, this is gonna be good. Alright, fine. Enjoy your shields. I'll go right through them instead. Especially if you conveniently just pausing your ship in the process. Oh, this is not going well. losing the hull field could cost me dearly.
Relocate
So actually, let me just disengage entirely before I take too much damage.
the mariner's path.
They are still death-balling, they just have no eyesight, so I'm free to just engage at will.
Energize thrusters.
Although, these ships can still fall apart pretty quickly.
As foretold, we bring doom.
Yep, incoming.
Where the winds sky,
I am not chancing this. Let's get the hell out of here.
following action has met its objectives.
And sure, I know Maelstrom is ridiculously powerful, but as you can see with the Rad Storm, it's so easy to dodge out if you're aware of it. Especially if you don't have something to follow it up like a Stasis Bomb, which I don't even know what the second skill the second skill that they're using is. Is it Stasis Bomb or is it something else? Because now I am going to be pinned a bit. Oh, they're going to actually take damage for me.
Energize thrusters.
A little bit of damage, but it's still damage.
Where the winds sky,
Now's our opportunity to pincer them while they're a little bit isolated.
I walk the mariner's
Because now all three ships are scattered slightly. Can I do the damage needed? Well, the engines are gone. That's a plus.
underway.
And I am going to get forwarded, so
The winds rise. For the ancestors.
I just don't want to kill. I wanted another pulsar shot. I didn't want to waste my torpedoes on that, was my thought process. But we can boost, dodge that. The light cruiser gets a kill on that, and the fire should force a mutiny on the one cruiser. It just won't mean much yet.
Boarding successful. Mariners pirouette.
Alright, so can you evade? Yes, you can. I'm proud of you. It's only a glancing hit.
Following action has met its objectives. How may I serve?
Although sadly you ran out of fumes. You're running on basically reserves and macro cans at this point. And they had a leftover Nova can, so it's a good thing I took every one of those shots seriously.
For the craft world.
Alright, that's game there, I think. I want to say good game, but I'm worried that I'm just bad-mannering them unintentionally. Because who knows how they felt about that. It was a good run for them. They did a good amount of damage to my fleet. Apparently it was a pre-made fleet at that too. Oh, and there was a light cruiser around? Huh. I wasn't really paying attention, but that explains... Oh yeah, that was one of the carrier ships, I guess. Still. Oh, they had the upgrade for unlimited Novacan shots too. And they had supercharged void shield. It was a good match. I feel like with the Stasis Bomb to go with their Rad Storm, that could have been very serious damage to me. But without the Disruption Overcharge, which, keep in mind, they get that right away. There's no leveling up required for that. That could have been the death of me. Most likely, with how I've been playing that match. Trying to handicap myself not using the Maelstrom. But it was still a good match.